games. Bring your crew, bring your A game, bring your hunger. Game On Brew Pub, 727 East Mountain Street in Kernersville.
Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad Sports.
Whether you like it or don't like it, sit down and look at it because it's the best going today. Woo!
TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Athletic competition. It can easily be broken down into two parts: the minutes or hours it takes to complete the event, then weeks, months, and years of joy or heartbreak. Finally, the decades to analyze and debate it. From the press box to press row, Donal Ware will break it all down for you with an in-depth look at historically Black college athletics, as well as the biggest news stories and newsmakers of the day. It's time to talk the talk with those who walk the walk. From the press box to press row, here's your host, Donal Ware.
Live from what's left of Radio Row, the Moscone Center here in San Francisco, really in the heart of the city of San Francisco. BoxToRow coming to you live from Super Bowl 60. We're super excited, and we're going to be with you for the next 2 hours. Got a fantastic show for you, a lot of great guests that we were able to get during the course of the week. And thank you to those that are listening to us on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com, those that are watching on the TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com YouTube channel. Also want to thank our radio affiliates, those that are listening to us in Orangeburg, on ESPN Orangeburg, as a matter of fact, those that are listening to us in the Bahamas on Global 99.5, those that are listening to us on Big Game Christian Sports Network. There are some other stations that I believe are carrying the program as well. If you are, text me, hit me up so we can make sure to shout you out. Look, like I said, we got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about the matchup, of course, between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. It should be an outstanding football game. A lot going on. Look, and I'll talk a little bit more about the game a little bit later on and really give you my thoughts in terms of who I think is going to win the particular matchups and all of those kinds of things. We've got some sound bites from some of the principles of this football game. So we're looking forward to bringing you a really, really good show. Look, I want you to hit me up on X at DWare1, at DWare1 on X, or at BoxToRow, BoxTorow. If you want to join us on the conversation. Look, a couple of things I want to talk about. And again, we're going to have great guests, and you're going to hear some conversations. We're also going to break down the game. I kind of want to start here, if I can, with the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame class was announced on Thursday. Drew Brees made it in his first year of eligibility. Now, when we were in New Orleans on last year, we had a chance to have Drew Brees on the program right here on Radio Row. Of course, that was in New Orleans. You had Larry Fitzgerald along with Luke Kuechly. Adam Vinatieri also made it in from the senior committee. It was Roger Craig that made it. Now, when I first looked at this, and look, Frank Gore didn't make it. First year of eligibility. I mean, I got to tell you, of course, he's a former San Francisco 49er. I don't think that he deserved to make it on the first year of eligibility. Now, he's rushed for, I think it's in excess of 16,000 yards. I mean, he had a career that, from a numbers perspective, was a really good career. A longevity perspective, especially for a running back, was a really good career. Think if Terrell Davis had the longevity that Frank Gore had. Terrell Davis had, I can't remember if he played maybe 6 or 7 years in the National Football League, but he had 4 phenomenal years, meaning Terrell Davis, including 2 straight Super Bowls, and was an integral part of those Super Bowl teams. So to me, with Terrell Davis being in the Hall of Fame, even with a small time frame, I definitely could understand that. Frank Gore, not so much. There were some others. Obviously, we talked ad nauseum last week about Bill Belichick not being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first year of eligibility, which I think is a shame. But again, I talked about the writer from the Kansas City Star newspaper that gave us perspective as to why he did not pick Bill Belichick, and a lot of that had to do with the grouping. So again, as I mentioned last week, won't get back into it this week, the process by which you vote on the Hall of Fame needs to be changed because there's no way that Bill Belichick should not be part of this class. I got to tell you, and for our listeners on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com and our listeners, it's, by the way, WWBG in Greensboro, that's also carrying this program, Panthers. Luke Kuechly. Now, Luke Kuechly, when he played, I had to go back and really look at the numbers. I remember Luke Kuechly like being really, really good. But I also remember Luke Kuechly retiring. What was he? Was he 28 or was he 30? Like, I really remember him retiring at a very early age, which is, look, in this day of in age of all the different kinds of opportunities that you could possibly have beyond football. I can understand that. You've got guys that are retired. There's a couple of guys that have retired more recently, maybe played a couple of years and have their health, because you don't want to go out either playing too long and then you have the concussion symptoms and all of those kinds of things, which the National Football League and Roger Goodell talked about this, a lot of discussion about keeping the game safer, and so that you don't have there are not long-term issues with this player, but with these players. But Luke Kuechly retired early, but I had to go back and look because I'm like, was Luke Kuechly? I mean, I remember him being like a really, really good player. But again, the longevity factor to me factored into Luke Kuechly. So I had to go back and look at the numbers, and not really the numbers. I didn't look at the numbers. I looked at the accolades. I think the accolades are better than the numbers. You can have as many tackles. I mean, look, London Fletcher is the third all-time leading tackler in National Football League history. He's not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think eventually he'll get in. I don't think he's a first ballot guy, but I think he'll eventually get in. So it's not about the numbers, but it's about what you did while you were there. Well, guess what? Luke Kuechly was a 5-time first-team All-Pro selection. So, yeah, I mean, in the however many years, 7, 8 years, whatever it was, that he played in the National Football League. So after going back and looking at that, I think he deserved to be in. Certainly Larry Fitzgerald, a longevity, and the way that he played the game, he carried himself on and off the field. And by the way, he was extremely productive getting to a Super Bowl, of course, losing the Super Bowl in 2009 to Tampa. By the way, we were at that Super Bowl in 2009 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he definitely deserved to be in. Roger Craig. See, this is the thing about Roger Craig, and we're, of course, right here in San Francisco. The nominating committee got Roger Craig they voted for him, and he got into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. To me, Roger Craig was a guy that belonged in the Pro Football Hall of Fame long before now. See, I think the way that we look at things now is we look at things more from, as I mentioned before, a numbers perspective. It was a different time when Roger Craig played. And by the way, speaking of San Francisco 49ers, if we talk about a guy like a Christian McCaffrey, who's a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver, well, guess what? Do you know the first player in National Football League history to rush for 1,000 yards and receive for 1,000 yards in the same season? It was Roger Craig. I think this was long overdue. I think sometimes you can't always look at the numbers and say, okay, well, this guy didn't have this number or whatever the case may be. Roger Craig was a phenomenal football player when he played, and he certainly deserved to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I don't think he certainly deserved to be there long before the Veterans Committee nominated him for being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I guess the old saying goes, better late than never, and so this applies to Roger Craig. So was glad to see that Roger Craig got into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Who do you think should have been in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that was not elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame other than Bill Belichick? Hit me up on X at DWare1, at DWare1, or on BoxToRow, BoxToRow, or on Facebook, BOX2ROW. So NFL honors Matthew Stafford won league MVP. And to me, it was clear that he should have been the MVP. All respect to Drake May, who is playing in the Super Bowl, second-year player. And I don't think that this was a deal of course, with Matthew Stafford, where you look and say, okay, well, we look at the totality of his career, and he's had a really good career. Again, going back to when he won his first Super Bowl, what was that going back, or his first and only Super Bowl? Going back to 3 years ago now. At that time, I still wasn't sure if he was on the trajectory to me to being a Pro Football Hall of Famer, but not necessarily a lock. He put up great numbers in Detroit, and that was part of it. He never made the playoffs, or rarely ever made the playoffs, didn't get a lot of love because he was putting up a bunch of numbers on bad football teams. So with that said, he's won a Super Bowl since, and I think with not only the numbers he put up. Again, let me be clear. Looking at his play told me that this guy should be the MVP, and then his numbers also told me the same thing, that Matthew Stafford should be the MVP. He had I forget the numbers, but he had like 36 touchdowns. I mean, he had a phenomenal season. So to me, he definitely deserved to be the league's MVP. I don't think there was any question about that. You had a couple of other players that won various awards. Let me try to pull them up. Had them right here. Let me try to pull them up real quick for you again. You had Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey ended up winning the comeback player of the year for the 49ers. I mean, I thought that he had an absolutely phenomenal season. And think about it, 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving on the season. And, I mean, he definitely deserved to be the comeback player of the year. You had Bobby Wagner, who won the Walter Payton Award. You had Jackson Smith. Enigma was named, of course, the receiver for the Seahawks was named the offensive player of the year. Mike Vrabel was the coach of the year. I mean, I think that was very well deserved. Myles Garrett, even though he's on a bad football team with the Browns, was named the defensive player of the year. So those were some of the awards with respect to the NFL honors. Now, let's talk. So earlier in the week, as a matter of fact, on Wednesday, had a chance to go over to the press conference, both the Seahawks press conference and then also the Patriots press conference as well. And I had a chance, because you're in a press conference setting, they call upon you to ask a question. They call upon various members of the media to ask a question. I got the last question of Stephon Diggs, who was at the podium. I kept my hand raised. He was only up there for 15 minutes. I had my hand raised as I was trying to record and all that for 15 minutes. So sometimes I had my right hand raised, and then the right hand raised, it was just a situation where it was raised too long. I got tired. Then I had to raise my left hand, right? So had a chance to catch up with Stephon Diggs and ask him this question during the Patriots press conference. And this question I asked of Stephon Diggs.
Donal Ware with BoxToRow, representing Silver Spring, Maryland.
Nice to meet you, boss.
Yes, sir. For you, 11 years in the league.
Yeah.
Your first Super Bowl. It is one of the best receivers in the league over that period of time.
Thank you.
What does that mean to you?
It means everything to me. I kind of talked about notoriety and legacy and the other day, and I just felt like these are one of those things that kind of help your journey, I guess. It's been a long journey. It's been a long time, just to even get here. It's been a lot of games played, a lot of practices. That's why I can't get swayed or can't get distracted. I got to keep the main thing, get back to work. Don't think too much of it. Don't think less of it than what it is either. Appreciate it for everything that I've been through, every practice, every day, life. I just take it for what it is. I'm just thankful to be where I'm at right now. So I want to appreciate that. And the best way I can do that is, nurture the blessing that God's given me, get back to work, get on the grind, and, trying to find a way to earn a win. So thank y'all so much.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, that was, of course, Stephon Diggs. Had a chance to catch up with him early in the week. I had to let him know I'm representing Silver Spring, Maryland. He's from Gaithersburg. Montgomery County was in the building that day. But as you heard him say, look, 11 years in the league, just appreciating him and finally being able to get here. One of the best receivers in the league over the last 11 years. Maybe not, production may not have been as much. He was injured, of course, a couple of years ago. Stephon Diggs is, you talk about somebody that's winning. Not only is he in the Super Bowl, he's got one of the biggest stars in the world as his girlfriend, right? So he is with Cardi B. So he's definitely winning. As you can see, construction is going on. They're breaking things down here at the Moscone Center. BoxToRow live from the Moscone Center here in San Francisco at Super Bowl 60. We're going to step aside. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. You're going to hear from a lot of people that we had a chance to talk to on Radio Row right here at the Moscone Center. Keep it locked. BoxToRow live from Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco.
Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo.
On last week's From the Press Box to Press Row with Donal Ware.
Bill Belichick not only should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, some will point to Spygate. Who cares? In Deflategate. Fine, I got you. There shouldn't be any cheating in that regard, but nowhere in the world. We can argue that. That's not what I'm here to argue, the merits as to why Bill Belichick should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We already know all of the merits. What I think we really need to take a look at is the process by which players are voted upon.
From the Press Box to Press Row is one of the hottest sports talk shows in the country. Join Donal each week as he takes you on a journey through the world of HBCU sports and pro sports and interviews with top sports and entertainment figures. That's From the Press Box to Press Row each week on your favorite station.
So where exactly can you hear Tobacco Road Sports Radio?
Oh, North Carolina, Curtisville, Salisbury, you know what I'm saying? Burlington. I didn't bring up Raleigh, Greensboro, Charlotte.
For the best in live sports debate, live sporting events, and more, tune in to Tobacco Road Sports Radio. TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
It's the North Gate, baby. Archdale.
Hey, have you heard the news? Kids now eat free every Monday at J. Pepper's Southern Grill in Kernersville. For every adult you bring that buys an entree $15 or more, one kid eats free. Totally free. Plus on Tuesdays, it's trivia night from 6 to 8 p.m. with $4 house highballs all day long. Whether it's stopping by for a quick lunch or later in the evening for a truly Southern dinner, make sure J. Pepper's is on the calendar. Join us to start your week at J. Pepper's Southern Grill, 841 Old Winston Road in Kernersville.
The players are getting taped. The coaches are going over last-minute adjustments to the game plan. High rollers are finding their sky boxes. As From the Press Box to Press Row continues, live.
We're back here. We're live from the Moscone Center here. We're on Radio Row in San Francisco. And super excited to be here, as a matter of fact. They're breaking it down. So most of the media, this is still what's left of Radio Row. If you can kind of see in the background, mostly everybody has gone. But I'm going to tell you what, it was busy all week. We got into town on Tuesday, as a matter of fact, and we checked in the hotel, which is about 5 blocks from here, walked over. We were mainly coming over here to kind of test our equipment, but it was already kind of busy. You already had a bunch of people that were walking around. Thursday's like the money day, right? Like there's a lot going on Thursday, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not as busy, but still busy. So just a lot was going on. I mean, you had everybody from Jordan Love walking around to Jayden Daniels, and one of the things we tried to do was set up interviews in advance. It's kind of hard to do that, but we'll know for next year, provided that we're able to come back next year, how to really get some of these interviews that we were looking for, but we were able to get quite a bit on this year. So we had a chance to catch up with a Super Bowl hero. As a matter of fact, that was actually on Wednesday, our first real day, if you will, on Radio Row. He was the hero of Super Bowl 49 for whatever reason, the Seahawks, who were going to win the Super Bowl, Pete Carroll decided it was a good idea to pass the football instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch. And all of a sudden, Malcolm Butler becomes the hero. Came away with the big interception. We had a chance to catch up with him on Wednesday, right here, BoxToRow on Radio Row.
We've got Super Bowl hero Malcolm Butler is in the building. Now, see, what I didn't know is he played a semester, or he went to Alcorn State for a semester.
Oh, 100%. Brave, baby.
Oh, wow. So did you play?
No, I was about to play.
Okay.
But I didn't. I got invited back to my community college, Hines Community College.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I got up out of there. Yep.
Hines is big time, man.
Oh, most definitely. Gene Murphy. He's like a baby Bill Belichick. Got a lot of rings, and he's a disciplined guy. He gonna get the best out of you.
Yeah. I know everybody's asked you this, man. Take us back, and it's the Patriots, it's the Seahawks. You were the hero. What was that? 2013?
15. Mm-hmm.
You were the hero.
Yep.
In that game. Take us back to that. What did you see? Take us through all of that.
Well, like I said a million times, like I'm on a team with Darrell Reeves, Logan Ryan, Devin McCourt, a bunch of leaders. And like I was making some crazy plays at practice, like during preseason, OTAs, training camp, at practice, like just doing it consistently. Because if I didn't, I was gonna be on somebody's team or out the NFL. So to hold that spot until you get all the way to the Super Bowl and don't go on the practice squad or nothing like that. So like you gotta be prepared at all times. So getting in that game, I'm prepared. Before the game, we watched the film. We went over the interception play, and my coach chewed me out. Was like, Malcolm, you gotta focus. You gotta be ready. You might put your little small school, West Alabama, on the map. You know what I mean? Right. So just going in that game, having confidence, and when I went in that game, we didn't miss a beat. Like it was just second nature. Go out there and just play. And so like film study, knowing what to do, how to do it. And like I told a lot of people, we weren't doing nothing but playing man. So I ain't had nothing to do but play man and worry about my guy.
Yeah. Were you surprised that they even threw the football on that play? Like, what?
Surprised or not, they did a hell of a job, and I love it. Shout out to Pete Carroll, man.
Yeah, man, and real quick, because I know you got to go West Alabama, man, going to small schools like you Alcorn, then Hines, then West Alabama. Ultimately, kind of talk about that. You came the small school route, but made it to the league. Not only made it, you're a Super Bowl champion and became a hero on top of that.
Man, hard work pays off, bro. You're going to get a breakthrough. It might take years, might take a day. It's going to come through. Like, you'll get close to it if you work hard. You might not get what you want, but you're going to get close to it. And then, like, just being a grinder, believing in God, and just doing it, man. Just doing it, bro. Like, don't build sideways because you're taking up space. Build up.
And are you here on behalf of somebody? Are you promoting something?
American Diabetes Association, man. Yeah. Take care of your body. Everybody out there, take care of your body. I'm here with Reveal Suits also.
Oh, yes.
They switched me out. They got the American Diabetes Association in here, man. Reveal Suits. And, like, just take care of yourself, man. And my mom had diabetes.
Okay.
I didn't know she had it.
Okay.
But she beat it. So I want the whole world to beat it, too. We fight, we stand.
Okay, real quick, is there a sore spot with the last Super Bowl you didn't play and all that kind of stuff? Are you beyond that? Belichick didn't play.
Yeah, man. I'm past that. I'm past that, man. I did play.
Okay, yeah, you did, but it was
one snap on punt return.
Yeah, but what was that about though? Like, I mean, nowhere in the world. I'm just saying, nowhere in the world you should not be playing in that not have played more in that football game. I'm just saying.
Well, he put me in the game to win, right?
Yeah.
And he put me in the game that we didn't win.
Yeah.
Biggest game of the season. So it was a coaching decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Everybody got somebody to answer to.
No problem. No problem.
You want the Tar Heel numbers?
Yeah.
The Tar Heel number. I give you. I call it. Hey, you ask him.
Yeah, we're in Raleigh, by the way. I may do that. Hey, Malcolm.
There you go.
Really appreciate that, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you, man.
All right, you got it.
Sir.
Great time with Malcolm Butler, as a matter of fact, because I mean I think that was just shameful. That was 2 years later after he was the Super Bowl hero. Like that was just shameful. And by the way, during the course of his career, he made a Pro Bowl. He was second team All-Pro, as you heard him say. Came out of West Alabama. Originally went to Alcorn State. Left Alcorn State to go to Hines Community College. Then transferred to West Alabama. And so he had a very, very productive career. And for him not to have been in a situation to help his team win in Super Bowl 51, 2 years after becoming the Super Bowl hero, was that was just really bad. And the Patriots, I'm not saying the two are the same, but the Patriots lost that Super Bowl. We're live from what's left of Radio Row at the Moscone Center here in San Francisco, BoxToRow at Super Bowl 60. We're going to step aside, take a break, come back. We're going to break down the game. We've got plenty of other guests joined us during the course of the week right here on BoxToRow, live Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco.
Hey family, this is Sabrina Wingo from Taste of the Triad right here in Winston-Salem. When you walk through our doors, you're stepping into a place where Southern hospitality meets the best soul food in the Triad. We serve up a wide variety of options every single day in our cafeteria-style setting, from crispy fried chicken, incredible ribs, tender collard greens, to creamy mac and cheese, fresh vegetables, homemade desserts, and sweet cornbread just like Grandma used to make. Whether you're craving classic comfort food or exploring our daily specials, there is always something to make your taste buds dance. And now you can enjoy the taste of the Triad from the comfort of your home. We're on DoorDash. This means our hot home-style meals are just a few taps away. So come see us in person or order online and find out why we're called the best soul food in the Triad. Taste of the Triad, where you can have Sunday dinner anytime. Our address is 4320 Old Walkertown Road in Winston-Salem.
Looking to buy or sell a home in the Triad area? Meet Nikki Rottweiler of Head Realty Group at eXp Realty, a local pro with over 6 years of experience serving Winston-Salem and beyond. Need a fast turnaround? Nikki is your go-to. Just ask her clients. She closes deals quickly without cutting corners. From Kernersville to Rural Hall, her expertise is in the Triad market shines. And she's more than your agent. Nikki is a proud supporter of local high school athletics, cheering on your local teams and backing your community all the way. Want service with speed, insight, and hometown heart? Call Nikki Rottweiler with Head Realty Group at eXp Realty today, 336-448-9309, and let her open the door to your next home.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan is here. Your local agent can help you create an affordable car insurance price.
Visit Susanna Nunn, State Farm Insurance in Kernersville.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
For the best high school football games in the Triad every Friday.
Can't touch this.
Live sports talk on everything from ACC to Bowman Gray.
Can't touch this.
The most extensive Carolina Panthers coverage in the Triad.
Can't touch this.
Plus your exclusive home for Charlotte Hornets from the Triad.
Break it down.
Add in your Triad home for North Carolina A&T Athletics, and you've got Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad sports.
One-on-one down the sideline. One. Caught the ball. 10-5. He's in. Touchdown, Aggies.
Beyonce and Jay-Z are here. A-Rod and Shaq are here. All the A-listers. And if their handlers mistake us for one of the major broadcast outlets because of our placement on Press Row, as From the Press Box to Press Row continues.
I'm from the Moscone Center here in San Francisco. And as a matter of fact, this is our 5th time at the Super Bowl, 5th time on Radio Row. We were, of course, in New Orleans last year. Just a little bit of history because we're going to, we got plenty more guests to get to, plenty of football talk. I want to actually talk a little bit more about the NFL, really the Pro Football Hall of Fame is what I want to talk more about. But, we first came here in 2000, well, not let's say here, but to the Super Bowl in 2007. It was in Miami. And, we were on Radio Row. I can remember Jarrett Bell, who's the NFL columnist with USA Today. As a matter of fact, I saw him at the press conference, the Pats and Seahawks press conference on Wednesday. Bill Roden, former New York Times columnist. I also saw him at that same press conference. Those were some of our very first guests that year, and so we've been doing this a while. We were there 2007, 2008, 2009. Took us a long time to get back, but we finally were able to make it back last year, and then of course are back this year. And it's just an opportunity to connect. A lot of this is connection with people. A lot of people walking around, a lot of people that you see generally on TV, you'll see here. So just absolutely a wonderful time, and I'll talk a little bit more about that during the course of this live broadcast. So we mentioned who made it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Drew Brees on his first year of eligibility, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and the senior finalist was Roger Craig, running back for the 49ers, who should, again, as I mentioned before, should have definitely made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But this is the thing. And again, in talking about this last week, within the senior and coach contributor committee. So though that's it's like a separate vote. So Bill Belichick was part of that vote. Robert Kraft, the owner for the Patriots, part of that vote. L.C. Greenwood, who, of course, L.C. Greenwood, part of those great Steelers defenses, 4 Super Bowls. L.C. Greenwood played his collegiate football at Arkansas Pine Bluff. As a matter of fact, Ken Anderson, the former quarterback with the Bengals, and then Roger Craig, as mentioned, were all in that category. And so Roger Craig was the only one to come out of the senior / coach / contributor category to make it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which it means it left out Ken Anderson, L.C. Greenwood, Bill Belichick, which that is just, again, not to rehash that, but also Robert Kraft. But what about the others that didn't make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Now, I mentioned, of course, Frank Gore, and I mentioned why I didn't think Frank Gore was, in fact, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and certainly not a first ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's a guy that, I think has the numbers. But anyway, he didn't get in. And I think this was the first year. I can't remember if this was the first year of eligibility for him or not. Eli Manning, that was a name that didn't get in. Now, I think Eli Manning belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think that not necessarily on the first ballot. I think this was his second ballot. I think he will get in. I think when you think about what he did, okay, so some people will look at the fact that he didn't win any MVPs, right? Like, I don't know if should winning, especially as a quarterback, determine whether you make the Pro Football Hall of Fame or not. I mean, it helps. I don't know if it should determine it, but it certainly helps. A la now Matthew Stafford, who now I think we're talking about maybe as a potential first ballot guy. And by the way, he said he was going to come back next year. Right? He wins another Super Bowl. I mean, now we're talking, especially if he wins another Super Bowl, now we're probably talking about a lock in terms of a first ballot guy in Matthew Stafford. But when I think about Eli Manning, one of the things I think about is his durability. He was always available. If you're into the numbers, I mean, his numbers were pretty solid. But the two things that stand out to me are the two Super Bowls and the manner in which the Giants won the two Super Bowls. The first one that played where he had to stay alive. In today's NFL, they probably would have called him in the grasp or a sack. You can see the referee looking to see if he was in the grasp, maybe getting ready to blow his whistle, saw that Eli Manning escaped, decided not to blow the whistle, back out of the play. Eli Manning keeps the play alive, throws the football, takes the big hit, and the tremendous catch to keep things going. David Tyree making the tremendous catch, and then ultimately the Giants winning that Super Bowl. And then the other one, the Patriots were undefeated at that time. Randy Moss, Tom Brady, etc. And the Giants win that Super Bowl as well, and behind Peyton Manning, who was a two-time Super Bowl MVP. So to me, that speaks to a gentleman, and it's not just the Super Bowls. Like if you look at his career, I mean, I mentioned longevity. He won some games. They made some play. To me, that it's not a first ballot guy, and he's not. Was his second time on the ballot, but to me, it speaks of a guy that should make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame eventually. Torrey Holt, that's a puzzling one, right? Like Torrey Holt had a tremendous career. You talk about, Kurt Warner. Now, Kurt Warner made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But the thing about Kurt Warner is that, that Rams team that won the Super Bowl, and then the team after Dick Vermeil left, it was Mike Martz as the head coach. I mean, they put up more astronomical numbers than even the Dick Vermeil team that won the Super Bowl. Torrey Holt was an integral part of that. You look at the course of his career, I don't understand why Torrey Holt is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame by now. Like, it makes no sense. Kurt Warner, for all he did, and you can argue that Kurt Warner not only did what he did with the Rams, he had an arena football. I don't know how much it is pro football, and that's why they call it the Pro Football Hall of Fame, much like Warren Moon got in, not just because of what he did. And by the way, let's not forget, Warren Moon was, to a degree, blackballed from the NFL as a black quarterback. He eventually made it, did some really good things with the Oilers, but he did a lot and won titles in the Canadian Football League. I don't know how much, going back to Kurt Warner, how much you count his time in the Arena League, which is still pro football, but he also was able to lead the Cardinals to the Super Bowl, right? So he's got two Super Bowl appearances, meaning Kurt Warner, one of which he won a Super Bowl. But Torrey Holt, like the Rams offense, I mean, Marshall Faulk, part of that. He's in the, and rightfully, Marshall Faulk not only did it with the Rams, but he did it with the Colts. Like, I don't understand why Torrey Holt is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame at this point. You've got others, Reggie Wayne, really excellent. Marvin Harrison. I think it was more Marvin Harrison that got more of the accolades than Reggie Wayne. Darren Woodson had a really good career with the Cowboys. He was on this year's list, did not get in. A couple of other guys, Willie Anderson, the former running back for the Cardinals, didn't get in as well. So it's a lot of guys that didn't get in, but I think the guys that got in definitely deserve to get in to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You've got it locked to BoxToRow. We're live from the Moscone Center, what's left of Radio Row. A lot of work going on here, so they're breaking things down here at Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. We're going to step aside, take a break, come back. I mentioned that we talked to a lot of people during the course of the week. And as a matter of fact, let me give you a little bit of a tease of who's coming up next. Coming up next, a four-time Super Bowl champion who was one of the most rugged linebackers when he played. That's up next. Keep it locked. BoxToRow, live from what's left of Radio Row, the Moscone Center, Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco.
Look down the line on Press Row. Hey, there's Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. What are they making out their bucket list? More fresh news next as From the Press Box to Press Row continues live.
This is Con Knipple from the Charlotte Hornets, and you're listening to Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for live sports in the Triad.
Welcome to the Triad's best kept secret, Tucker's Grill, located on the corner of Highway 66 and High Point Road at 4110 North Main Street in High Point. Open 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Voted some of the best burgers in the Triad, Tucker's Grill also offers breakfast plates, breakfast sandwiches, hot dogs, lunch sandwiches, and homemade soup during the winter months. Visit Tucker's Grill for lunch today, 4110 North Main Street in High Point.
Blue Naples Pizzeria in Kernersville is now hiring. Come work for one of the best Italian restaurants in the Triad. Currently hiring dishwashers, cooks, front cashiers, and more. Great hours, great pay. Give them a call at 336-993-7707 or stop by and inquire at 1519 Union Cross Road in Kernersville. Start working this week. Blue Naples Pizza.
Looking for your real estate expert in Kernersville? Meet Nikki Rottweiler, your go-to expert with the unrivaled knowledge of the market. From hidden gems to prime profiles, she's got the inside scoop. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Contact Nikki Rottweiler today and experience the difference firsthand. Call Nikki at 336-448-9309 to get started. Head Realty Group, opening dreams one door at a time.
Hey, Jake from State Farm.
We have to know.
Yeah, there's a State Farm pajamas.
No, what if we have to talk to somebody about our policy, but it's late at night?
Call us 24/7.
Great, because what if someone still calls his mom for everything?
We'll walk you through everything. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Yeah, Mom, everything's great. Yeah. I mean, not my mom.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you want the real deal, call Susanna Nunn in Kernersville today. You are locked into Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad Sports.
And you know this, man.
Mo stars, mo names in the news. Just Mo Spots with Donal Ware. From the press box to press row.
BoxToRow at what is left of Radio Row here at the Moscone Center, the convention center, here in, I guess, what you would call downtown San Francisco. It's not downtown San Francisco. It's the heart of San Francisco. As a matter of fact, we're in Moscone West. Across the street is where the NFL fan experience is happening, so a lot is going on. We had a chance to go over a little bit to the NFL fan experience on yesterday. All of the teams, the 32 teams are represented with helmets outside of that part of the building. You go inside, they have the NFL shop, so it's a lot going on here. Of course, the Super Bowl taking place on tomorrow between the Seahawks and the Pats. That's taking place in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium, which is about 45 minutes. I believe it's north of here. All of this is what they call the Bay Area or Northern California. And Levi Stadium is in Santa Clara, which is about 45 minutes from here. Well, as mentioned, had a chance to catch up with four-time Super Bowl champion Bill Romanowski, former linebacker, and had a pretty good conversation. We had a good conversation with him right here on Radio Row, BoxToRow, from Super Bowl 60 here at the Moscones.
We are live from the Moscone Center here in San Francisco. Radio Row at Super Bowl 60, and we're super excited to be joined by our next guest here, Bill Romanowski. Of course, I mean, I'll tell you what, you talk about a linebacker in the National Football League that could play some ball. He is the one, as he joins us right now on Radio Row. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you. So I know you're kind of around. Do you generally come to Radio Row?
I usually do.
Okay.
I took a year off, so I wasn't here last year.
Okay.
And the year before that I was, and usually make the rounds. I think one other year Super Bowl was in Minnesota. I didn't make it. But other than that, usually every year I try to make it.
Okay, great. So you love this because your wife. And look, this is my wife, so I get it. So your wife had come over and kind of talked to us, which was cool. I'm like, yeah, cool. After 2, if he's got some time, because we had something going on. But I mean, you like making the runs. You like doing these kind of things.
I do. I don't mind it. I didn't like it when I was playing.
I know that.
And I stayed away from the press, when I played. But I it's great. I saw Doug Flutie, my college teammate, a little bit ago. Seeing different guys that I played with is great to see. Seeing different broadcasters that I've worked with over the years, great. It's something you miss because, not a lot of people get to live this life, that I've been able to live and turn into, a living, and I have a nutrition company. So, I've been very blessed and I enjoy doing it.
Okay, let me ask you this. I want to ask you about the nutritionist or nutrition company also. Do you regret maybe not doing these kinds of things when you were a player, or it's just that was then? That's what it was.
I was talking with a broadcaster out of Denver, did an interview with him a little bit ago, and I told him that when I was a player, and I just told him, I said, I didn't talk to the press. I didn't see the need. And when I retired, I had kind of a change, a mental change to where I look back and I said, you know what? Probably would have been a good idea if I would have done that. And I've had to make amends with certain people, and I just tell them, and I'm straight up, that I just didn't see that I would ever need you ever in the future. And I was so focused on what I had to do that particular day, that season, and that's what I focused on.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's a cliche, but playing in the National Football League is hard. Like, you got to concentrate on what you're doing.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and probably the most rewarding.
Bill Romanowski joining us here, Radio Row. We're at the Moscone Center here in San Francisco. Super Bowl 60, of course, between the Pats and the Seahawks is going to take place on Sunday. Tell us about the nutrition company.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit.
Nutrition 53.
Okay.
Our flagship product is Lean One. I have 3 foundations. I have a fat-burning meal replacement, Lean One Neuro, which is brain focus, and Lean One Sleep, which is all about getting good sleep. So those 3 foundations, I think, are the key to life. And I put this together, back when I retired. And and today I realize now that I was a little ahead of my time, because back then when I had a brain focus product, people would say to me, what, do you think I'm not very smart? And sleep, what do you mean? I sleep great. I drink a 6-pack and I sleep like a baby. Well, you soon realize that those 3 things, living lean, staying sharp and focused, having energy, and sleeping well, are 3 pillars of life.
Wow. Very well said. 4-time Super Bowl champion, as a matter of fact. You, man, when you played, you were mean. Let me just, I mean, but you had to play that way. I understand that in a lot of respects. The way that the game is played now, we understand that, there's a lot of concussion protocol, and they're trying to do all of those kind of things to protect the players, unlike when you played. How do you feel about it?
You know what? I think it's a good thing.
Bill Romanowski, who joined us on Radio Row. As a matter of fact, what was that? I think that was Wednesday when we had Bill Romanowski on the program on Radio Row. So, I mean, I got to tell you, it's just been a grand time here from Radio Row. And Bill Romanowski had a lot to say. I mean, when he was playing, like 4 Super Bowls, think about that. Here's a guy that played with 3 of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. Joe Montana, who he actually won the 2 Super Bowls with. I think Steve Young was part of maybe that last Super Bowl, but he wasn't the quarterback. And then, of course, Montana ended up getting hurt. And then Steve Young came in, became a great quarterback. He already had been great. I mean, speaking about pro football, he's a guy that came out of the USFL before he came to the San Francisco 49ers. Then goes to the Broncos, meaning Bill Romanowski. Still very productive, okay, and wins 2 more Super Bowls with John Elway as the quarterback. So when you really think about it, you have a situation where he was able to play with really 2 great quarterbacks and integral parts of those teams from a defensive perspective was Bill Romanowski. And it's interesting because this is how it kind of works. And again, we're live from what's really left of Radio Row at Super Bowl 60, the Moscone Center, which is the convention center, part of this massive convention center here in San Francisco. We're in Moscone West. Sometimes, like I said to you all before, we tried this year to kind of set up interviews in advance. So I'm going to tell you, and I'll just tell you kind of how it works. So a couple of guys we looked at, E40, Too Short, Larry June, like some of the entertainers that are from the Bay Area, and really wasn't able to get them, didn't really know, okay, what players are going to be here. Knew Jaden Daniels was here last year, wasn't sure if he was going to be here this year. He was. I mean, you've got, Bo Jackson was walking around, Barry Sanders. Like, you've got all of these people, former players, and then just kind of walking around. And then what happens is, like, this is what happened. Like, my wife, Kimberly, is with me, been doing a lot of work setting up and all of that this week. So what happened was we had a bit of a break. We weren't doing much. And Bill Romanowski's wife comes up and says, hey, my husband, she says, my husband, Bill Roman. I think she may have even said, do you know who my husband, Bill Romanowski is? I'm like, I guess it kind of caught me off guard. I mean, yeah, Bill. I mean, yeah, I know Bill Romanowski is. He was really mean, like I was saying in the interview when he played. But yeah, I know exactly who he is. She says, well, do you have any time for him? Can he come on and interview, with you and so forth? So I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, we're, and we set up a time because I think we may have had some other stuff that was kind of going on. And so we were able to get him. So that's how it kind of works from time to time. I'll tell you who we did have that. Let me kind of look at my rundown. I don't think we're going to have a chance to get to his conversation today. But if you go to the BoxToRow YouTube channel, you'll be able to hear. If you know the movie Jerry Maguire, okay, those of us that are of a certain age know that movie. The famous line from that movie, "Show me the money," right? Well, the person that was the sort of behind Jerry Maguire and the making of Jerry Maguire, Lee Steinberg, the agent Lee Steinberg. We had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. As a matter of fact, kind of same situation. His PR people kind of walking around. Hey, we'd love. Matter of fact, I think we caught up with them. They asked us on Wednesday, and then continue to kind of make contact with us. It may have been on Thursday. Actually, may have been on Thursday. Continue to kind of make contact with us, and we said okay. And then we said, well, yeah, this would be good. I mean, and think about it. He's represented 8 number 1 NFL overall picks. Still representing. He's got a great story. Right, because he went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, and now he's back on top. He represents Patrick Mahomes. That is his client. Patrick Mahomes is the client of one Lee Steinberg, right? So just a lot of people kind of walking around here on Radio Row. Again, you've got it locked to BoxToRow. We're live from Super Bowl 60 here in San Francisco. I'm your host, Donal Ware. Still to come, plenty more still to come. I'm going to tease them for you, right? I don't want to give them away. I want you to stick around during this live broadcast so you can see who, in fact, is going to be joining us right here live from radio. Well, I shouldn't say right now, but they joined us a little bit earlier in the week. But, of course, we're live right now. A lot of tearing down going on here at Radio Row. This place was live. As a matter of fact, Bounty, the paper towel company Bounty, had a setup, right? And they had this last year as well. And what it is they want to advertise the paper towels. So what they do is they give you like these messy chicken wings, and they just give them out. You get like 6 wings. They're feeding like the entire Radio Row. Like they got enough wings to feed like 3,000 people. If you want the wings, just go by their booth, right? And so it's one of those things where you have those kind of things. You know what I mean? So just a great time here on Radio Row. We're going to step aside, take a break. When we come back, we had a chance to catch up with a young man who's an offensive assistant with the Seattle Seahawks and played his collegiate football at Shaw University. You're going to hear from him next. Keep it locked to BoxToRow. We're live from Radio Row at the Moscone Center here in San Francisco.
Hey, those Patriot coaches have the coolest binoculars. We'll find out what brand they're using that fold up into cute little cigarette packs next, as From the Press Box to Press Row continues live.
On last week's From the Press Box to Press Row with Donal Ware.
Bill Belichick not only should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, some will point to Spygate. Who cares? In Deflategate. Fine, I got you. There shouldn't be any cheating in that regard, but no way in the world we can argue that. That's not what I'm here to argue, the merits as to why Bill Belichick should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We already know all of the merits. What I think we really need to take a look at is the process by which players are voted upon.
From the Press Box to Press Row is one of the hottest sports talk shows in the country. Join Donal each week as he takes you on a journey through the world of HBCU sports and pro sports and interviews with top sports and entertainment figures. That's From the Press Box to Press Row each week on your favorite station.
Kernersville, it's game on. Your new home for cold beer, killer food, and every game that matters. Check out the menu with everything from Wagyu burgers to loaded hot dogs, crispy buffalo wings, and signature sauces. Take in every NFL, NBA, college, and primetime sports matchup on massive screens, plus cornhole, DJ parties, karaoke nights, and a huge selection of arcade games. Bring your crew, bring your A-game, bring your hunger. Game On Brew Pub, 727 East Mountain Street in Kernersville.
Hey, did you know you can have the best soul food in the Triad delivered right to your doorstep? That's right, Taste of the Triad is now on DoorDash. Get fried chicken, fried fish, turkey necks, pork chops, beef or pork ribs, meatloaf, we even have oxtails, y'all, delivered right to your doorstep. Stay out of the kitchen tonight and order the best soul food in Winston-Salem, Taste of the Triad. Look them up on DoorDash or visit them at 4320 Old Walkertown Road in Winston-Salem, or call ahead your order for pickup at 336-448-5932.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
When you want the real deal, call Susanna Nunn in Kernersville today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hey, did you know you can have the best restaurant? Hey, have you heard the news? Kids now eat free every Monday at J. Pepper's Southern Grill in Kernersville. For every adult you bring that buys an entree $15 or more, one kid eats free. totally free. Plus, on Tuesdays, it's trivia night from 6 to 8 p.m. with $4 house highballs all day long. Whether it's stopping by for a quick lunch or later in the evening for a truly Southern dinner, make sure J. Peppers is on the calendar. Join us to start your week at J. Peppers Southern Grill, 841 Old Winston Road in Kernersville.
Looking to buy or sell a home in the Triad area? Meet Nikki Rottweiler of Head Realty Group at eXp Realty, a local pro with over 6 years of experience serving Winston-Salem and beyond. Need a fast turnaround? Nikki is your go-to. Just ask her clients. She closes deals quickly without cutting corners. From Kernersville to Rural Hall, her expertise is in the Triad market shines. And she's more than your agent. Nikki is a proud supporter of local high school athletics, cheering on your local teams and backing your community all the way. Want service with speed, insight, and hometown heart? Call Nikki Rottweiler with Head Realty Group at eXp Realty today, 336-448-9309, and let her open the door to your next home.
Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad Sports.
Whether you like it or don't like it, sit down and look at it because it's the best going today. Woo!
TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
The players are getting taped. The coaches are going over last-minute adjustments to the game plan. High rollers are finding their sky boxes. As From the Press Box to Press Row continues, live.
Hour 2 of BoxToRow live at Super Bowl 60, the Moscone Center here in San Francisco. Thank you for making this broadcast a part of your day, whether you're watching on the TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com Facebook page, whether you're listening on TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com, some of our great affiliates around the country that are carrying the program, ESPN in ESPN Orangeburg in Orangeburg, South Carolina, Global 99.5 in the Bahamas, carrying the program. Big Game Christian Sports Network is carrying the program. Bronco Eye Radio is carrying the program as well. And again, if any of the other affiliates that are affiliates around the country that are carrying the program, please let us know so we can shout you out. This is what's left. I don't know if you can kind of see the background, but it's really what's left of Radio Row. This place was buzzing. Hear me, buzzing for the previous 4 days right here at the Moscone Center. And we just have had a grand time, and we're getting it set for the matchup between the Pats and the Seahawks taking place tomorrow. I believe kickoff time is 6:36 Eastern, so local time. We're here. We're 3 hours behind those in the East Coast, 2 hours behind those in the 4 hours behind those, well, 3 hours, 2 hours behind those in the Central Time Zone. That game is airing. I believe it's the kickoff is at 6:36 p.m. Eastern, 3:36 p.m. Pacific time. Well, again, as I mentioned, so the way that the press conferences work, you have the press conferences with the respective teams, and let's just look at the Seahawks for instance. So on Wednesday, you had Mike McDonald, the head coach, that talked for about 15 minutes. Then you had, then of course you had another player that came on and talked during the press conference part of it. But then what happens is, in a separate room, each player, and then some players are grouped together. But then you have like 10 players that are up on a dais, on individual daises, talking, and then you have tables with other players that are sitting there. So you can just go up and talk to anyone. By the way, it was Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was the player that talked after Mike McDonald. So it's just an opportunity to talk to players one-on-one. And I had a chance actually to catch up with Quinshawn Odom. Quinshawn Odom played 4 years of quarterback at Shaw University, right? And he's an offensive assistant with the Seahawks. Had a chance to catch up with him on Wednesday as part of BoxTorow's coverage of Super Bowl 60.
You got to understand your process, understand what's for you, and go get it. So we're all happy for Sam. Looking forward to continue to prepare this week with Sam. Like, that's what he does week in, week out. We all see the work.
All the way from Shaw to now with the Seattle Seahawks as an offensive assistant. I mean, that's pretty cool. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot, honestly. It really does. I always tell people, like my family, my close friends, like we can do anything. When I was at Shaw did teach me that. Just the way that we were taught and loved on campus in our classrooms. It just gives you the confidence to step outside your comfort zone, to go out in the world. And I went to grad school at 2 other institutions out there. I left Shaw, and the comfort that I felt in those environments, I'm in these rooms now, or coaching these guys, I'm just full of confidence, man. And the root of my confidence has a lot to do with my experience at Shaw University.
Yeah, and then the HBCU experience as a whole, right? Like a lot of times we don't get a lot of the opportunities, but some of us do and take advantage of it like you have. Just kind of speak to being an HBCU grad also.
Yeah, everybody knows, like, everybody in this organization knows that I went to Shaw. I'm an HBCU grad. I'm very proud of being from a black college. It just speaks to opportunity. Once you get the opportunity, you make it what it is. We love to see more HBCU graduates continue to get out in the world and do what we do. But there's no surprise, honestly. My best friend is an HBCU graduate. He just started his own law firm. He also went to Shaw University. So there's no surprise. I'm not shocked to be here. I'm not surprised by the opportunities. I truly believe in myself, believe in who we are. Just love to get out into the world in these roles and represent, be an example. That's what's important.
What was your path? Okay, you left Shaw, then can you kind of take us through to how you got here, all of your stops?
Yeah, I went to Shaw. I did communications and journalism in undergrad, writing and journalism. I always loved to write papers in school, long papers, those assignments. I thought I wanted to get into journalism, like the media. I went to graduate school at Florida State. I enrolled the fall of 14 after graduating from Shaw earlier that spring. And I was doing sports management at Florida State as a graduate student. Just trying to find my way. I kind of got bored with all the marketing and those kind of things. So speaking with some former coaches of mine, athletic directors, and I got a chance to go to Eastern Kentucky University, which is in Richmond, Kentucky. The OC at the time was Dane Dammer. He used to be the head coach at my high school back in the day. But Coach Dammer gave me a chance to come out to EKU, and that kind of got me on the coaching journey. I went from there to Vanderbilt. I was an intern at EKU, so I went to Vanderbilt the following year to start as a graduate assistant. And I was at Vanderbilt for 2 years under Coach Derek Mason. Coach Mason put me in the offensive line as a GA in 2016. And from there, I went to the tight ends in 17. Then I had an opportunity to go to Green Bay in 2018 as a scouting assistant with Brian Gutekunst and his staff. That was a great experience. My first touch of the league was in 2018. It kind of showed me, hey, man, you want to be a part of the league if you can. It showed me the detail and the professionalism of this sports world. And that was something I took and I thought about a lot. But I did go back to the coaching side. I went back to Vanderbilt with Coach Mason for two more years in 19 and 20. Coach Mason sent me back as a quality control on offense for quarterbacks. And then I went to Texas in 21. That was Coach Sarkisian's first year. And I was an offensive line graduate assistant working with Kyle Flood and the O-line at Texas. And I went back to the NFL in 22 and 23. I was in Green Bay working with wide receivers, offensive assistant, drawing all the pass plays, working with Matt and his staff and those guys. Great experience, great time out there, learned a lot of ball. And fortunately, Coach Frazier and Coach KO, our linebackers coach, they hit me up about the opportunity to come to Seattle and join Mike and his staff here. So I got here in 24, and now 25 is my second year here in Seattle.
No, that's really cool. But now your time in Shaw, you didn't come see me as the BoxToRow guy or the guy that was the play-by-play guy for Shaw for basketball. Like if you had come to see me, I'd have put you on the mic. What's up?
I would have loved to. Honestly, I was looking for opportunities, man. I wish I would have known better. I was looking for opportunities to be in front of the microphone, get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Just kind of see, learn a little bit more about myself in those spaces. Not shying away from it, but I wish it could have worked out.
No. And like you said, maybe it wasn't your thing. You had, you wanted to do the coaching thing, and you're doing it now at the highest level and continuing to move up, which is great. Last thought. New England's got a pretty good defense. So how do you kind of attack that defense?
You prepare. You watch tape. You study your opponents. You prepare. You detail your plan. And you attack the details when we get out on the grass. That's what we do. We got a process. We stack days. We stack meetings. We talk about like what's important now Wednesday. Today's like what's important now Wednesday. We're going to do this media thing, and we're going to go back, have a walkthrough, detail our practice, and then go over the tape. That's it. We do the same thing every week, the same things every day. New England is a great opponent, great defense. They fly to the ball. They force a lot of turnovers. They play hard, man. They play like as a unit. They're very cohesive. You see them communicate. You see guys running to the ball. They have a great culture. And I think it makes a great challenge for us, and we are looking forward to it.
Your loquacious, you could have done the media thing, man.
I could have. I truly believe that I could have. I plan on having a great long coaching career, but I'm not. I do believe that being in the communications world, journalism, that's something I always had a joy for. So maybe one day.
All right, sounds good, Quinshawn. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, so Quinshawn Odom joining us, and I tell you what, he's going to get it. He's going to get it done. He likes, you can tell by his answers. He likes to talk. He could have done the communications thing, and so we were glad to catch up with Quinshawn Odom. Another gentleman we had a chance to catch up with briefly, Leslie Frazier, the assistant head coach of the Seahawks, the former Minnesota Vikings head coach, as a matter of fact, and of course he played his college football at Alcorn State, was the Super Bowl champion with the '85 Bears. So this is the third Super Bowl for Leslie Frazier. Had a chance to talk to him and ask him, what does it mean to him to be at the Super Bowl in his capacity as an Alcorn State graduate?
Man, it's so humbling. Maybe some of your listeners don't know Alcorn, HBCU college, and the SWAC conference, and a lot of great players over the years, and great coaches. At Robinson, my head coach, Marino Chasm. To be here to represent HBCUs, it's a humbling experience and something I'm very grateful for and thankful for. And I'm hoping that there'll be more HBCU players and coaches that will participate in this game in the future. But it means a lot to be here and to be able to say that I'm a graduate of Alcorn State University and I'm at the Super Bowl,
And as a matter of fact, for Leslie Frazier, as I mentioned, his third Super Bowl, looking for his third Super Bowl. Of course, when he was with the Colts, he was an assistant coach with the Colts under Tony Dungy when he won as the coach. And by the way, with Leslie Frazier, it's interesting because he came on BoxToRow a couple of times while he was the head coach of the Vikings. But also, the first time I had a chance to talk with Leslie Frazier was at the Super Bowl in 2007 when he was the assistant coach. As a matter of fact, and see, things are different now. Back in the day, you had the press conferences. Remember, I told you about those one-on-ones when you have a chance to talk with coaches, etc. Well, I missed that opportunity to talk with him because I was talking with like Nick Harper and Antoine Bethea, and so I asked, the PR people from the Colts, hey, I really want to talk to Leslie Frazier. Didn't have a chance to talk with him. They went back and asked. He graciously came out, probably gave me about 10 minutes, much more time than he should have. And so that's how we sort of go back to that time with Leslie Frazier going back to 2007. You've got it locked to BoxToRow. We're live from Super Bowl 60. We're at the Moscone Center, which left of Radio Row here in San Francisco. We're going to step aside, take a break, come back. We're going to be joined, keep with me here. We're going to be joined by a coach who is actually the interim defensive play caller for the Patriots. So he calls all the defensive plays. He's taking over for the defensive coordinator who at one time was the defensive line coach at North Carolina A&T. He's been battling cancer. So he's taken over for him as the play caller. That's how deep the HBCU roots run right here in San Francisco at the Super Bowl. Keep it locked. BoxToRow live from the Moscone Center in San Francisco.
look down the line on Press Row. Hey, there's Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. What are they making out their bucket list? More fresh news next as From the Press Box to Press Row continues live.
This is Con Knipple from the Charlotte Hornets, and you're listening to Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for live sports in the Triad.
Are you looking for the next best soul food spot to please your palate? What if I told you there's one right under your nose? Welcome to Taste of the Triad, located in the old Bell Brothers Cafeteria, location at 4320 Old Walkertown Road in Winston-Salem. Authentic Southern comfort food in a family atmosphere. At Taste of the Triad, you can have Sunday dinner anytime. Baked chicken, fried chicken to order, the best meatloaf in the Triad, ribs, baked mac and cheese, and more. Check out Sunday Smackdown with beef and pork ribs, smoked turkey legs, collard greens, yams, and much more. Are y'all hungry yet? Did I even mention the live music on Sundays? Comfort soul food in the heart of the Triad. Taste of the Triad. 4320 Old Walkertown Road in Winston-Salem. Check out the menu at tasteofthetriad.com. You are locked into Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad Sports.
And you know this, man.
BoxToRow.com is the website for all of your HBCU sports needs. From the Game of the Week feature to interviews, to the latest news in the world of HBCU sports, BoxToRow.com has you covered. Missed a week of From the Press Box to Press Row? BoxToRow.com has all the archive shows. Don't forget to check out the All-American teams and weekly media coaches polls. From the Press Box to Press Row and BoxToRow.com, your HBCU sports leader.
Beyonce and Jay-Z are here. A-Rod and Shaq are here. All the A-listers. And if their handlers mistake us for one of the major broadcast outlets because of our placement on Press Row, as From the Press Box to Press Row continues.
It is cold in this building as we're one of the very few radio or podcasts that are still here on what's left of Radio Row here in San Francisco. BoxToRow coming to you live. Thank you for making the program a part of your day. And thank you to my man Dez back at the studios of the Tobacco Road Sports Radio for all of his great work in terms of producing this broadcast, both visually and from an audio perspective on today. Well, I told you the HBCU roots run deep. In the Super Bowl, you heard from Leslie Frazier, Alcorn State grad, played for the Bears, is the assistant coach now for the Seahawks, also an assistant coach for the Colts, and then the head coach for the Vikings. I think it was 3 or 4 seasons he was the head coach with the Vikings. You heard from him. You also heard from, of course, Quinshawn Odom, former player at Shaw, who's an assistant offensive assistant with the Seattle Seahawks. Well, I got to tell you, Zach Kerr, I think his official title is like inside linebackers coach for the Patriots, but he's the defensive play call. He's calling the plays defensively for the Patriots because Terrell Williams, who is the defensive coordinator, has been battling cancer all season long. So he's been a part. I think he may have been able to be at one game, but he's been in the meeting rooms and all of that. But he hasn't been at many of the games this year because he's been battling cancer. Well, Terrell Williams at one time was the defensive line coach at North Carolina A&T. As a matter of fact, he was the defensive line coach at A&T when I was the sports information director at North Carolina A&T back in my SID days. Well, Zach Kerr had a chance to catch up with him. Now, Zach Kerr coached 2 seasons at Savannah State. We had a chance to catch up with him at the Seahawks press conference on Wednesday.
Hey, Zach, Donal Ware with BoxToRow. Can you take me back to your days with Edward Waters? Do you remember those days? Can you take me back to that?
A lot of great experiences, Edward Waters. A lot of great things you learn, man. I mean, I truly believe that's damn near at the base, the foundation of my coaching. Everything I learned from and the guys that helped me along the way: William Bell, Lamont Turner, Chris Brown, Marshawn Middleton, Antoine. I got to name 1,000 people. Antoine Nicholas, Boss. Those guys, man, they helped me through and through, learning how to be resourceful. It's hard. It's hard to coach in some place that don't have all the resources as like an Ohio State or a Clemson. And I think it just makes you that much better as a coach of what you have to find to get done. And those guys helped me through that, through and through, and I loved my time there.
Edward Waters had a pretty good season. I mean, it started off really good, then maybe not so much. You keep up with him still?
I do. I always check in on him 100%, yeah. It's just weird to me that it's university now. I'm always an AWC guy.
Yeah. And then lastly, what would it mean? I mean, Terrell Williams, another HBCU guy. As a matter of fact, when he was at A&T, North Carolina A&T, I was the SID at that time.
Is that right? So you know Kevin Hubbard?
I remember all them guys. I was the SIDs, 99 and 2001. So what would it mean, just kind of him having been the defensive coordinator, now you calling plays?
Yeah.
What does that sort of mean? What have you learned from him, maybe?
So I was his assistant in 2020 with the Titans.
Okay.
My first year in the NFL. And I learned damn near everything about this league, how to go about business in this league with the players. Just with the different personalities and how it works and how you can still build. Like when I first got, not even that, God, I remember, who was it? There was a running back at Ohio State that came back to lift one time when I was an intern at Ohio State. And he was a rookie with, I want to say, I don't remember who it was, but I asked him, what's the difference? And he's like, man, the league, everybody just cares about money. And I think I brought that up to him when I first got there. He's like, man, that could be the furthest thing from the truth. Like, you can still build those same, family-type relationships in the league, and guys still want to be coached. They still want the relationship with somebody to lean on. And he just taught me everything about this game at this level, and he's given me so much confidence in myself. The fact that he hasn't been a head coach in the NFL blows my mind. He's if people did deep dives of assistant coaches in the NFL for the Hall of Fame, no question in my mind he should be in the Hall of Fame. Yes, any coach that's ever worked with him, he's top tier.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Again, Zach Kerr, he's the play caller. Again, he's the play caller. So he'll be calling the plays tomorrow for the Patriots against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. You've got it locked. BoxToRow is live from Super Bowl 60 and what's left of Radio Row at the Moscone Center here in San Francisco. So let's look at this matchup a little bit. And so, Zach Kerr's got a lot to go up against, right? So when I look at this team, and look, Sam Darnold has had a tremendous season. There's no question about that. He shook off, and remember, he was famously known for saying in his rookie season that he was seeing ghosts. Well, guess what? He even shook off the ghosts from last year with respect to his last two games as a Minnesota Viking. And Minnesota's got to be kicking itself because really Minnesota coming into this season was, in essence, to me, quarterback away. And I realized they put all their eggs in one basket with J.J. McCarthy. It just hasn't worked out from two perspectives. One, J.J. McCarthy but again, he's young. Again, it's almost getting ready to be contradictory what I'm getting ready to say about Darnold opposed to J.J. McCarthy. It's only his second year in the league. He hasn't played that much because the other thing is he was injured a lot this year. But had the Vikings kept Darnold, then the Seahawks may not be where they are, and the Vikings probably would be further along. But going back to Darnold and shaking off the ghost, that's exactly what he was able to do, right? He managed the game, the first game with the victory by the Seahawks in the divisional round, and then, in essence, won the game for the Seahawks against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. I don't expect the drop-off. Yes, the Super Bowl is a different level, but I do not expect the drop-off from Sam Darnold. He's got all kinds of receivers, all kinds of weapons. I mean, good grief. Like, it's going to be it's like one of those situations, right, where you've got so much to work with. He's good. You know, he's got Cup. Like, the Rams, not that the Rams gave up on Cup, is that they couldn't afford to keep him. And, you know, he was coming off sort of that ACL. So, you know, that was a situation where Cup is now with the Seahawks. And we can see Cup can still play as great as he was with the Rams. Not a lot of drop-off, especially with what we've seen from a postseason perspective with Cup. I mean, you look at a guy like a Jackson Smith Enigma. I mean, Offensive Player of the Year. What did he have? He had like almost 1,800 yards receiving. So that's from that perspective, right? Sam Darnold, him in of himself, he's got all the weapons in the world, but then he's got a running game. Kenneth Walker, like the running game is really, 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 really good. So I look at it, and so for Kerr, I mean, he's going to be up tonight trying to figure out how to really stop this Seahawks offense, which is extremely, extremely potent. And then when you look at the Seahawks, you know, certainly from a defensive perspective, I mean, the Seahawks are really, really good. You look at them up front, you know, DeMarcus Lawrence, a lot of people, you know, wanted to talk to him this week, the former Cowboy. Boy, he has made an impact on the Seahawks defense. But where I'm really more so impressed is in the defensive secondary. Look at a guy like a Josh Jobe. I mean, that guy can really play. Like, you talk about a guy that, you know, particularly in the future is going to be like a guy that's going to be a lockdown corner. And check this out. He's only a rookie, right? So very, very scary. I mean, I think the Seahawks are the better football team. It's not to say that the Pats don't have a lot to work with, right? Like I mentioned, it's the veteran leadership from an offensive perspective, right? It's the veteran leadership of a guy like a Stephon Diggs, who can talk to a guy like a Drake May. Again, Drake May hasn't necessarily been great in the playoffs, but he's had an MVP type of season. I don't know if he finished second in the MVP running, but he was certainly in the race. Like Drake May can really, really play, and he's got some other offensive weapons. And then, of course, the Pats are good up front, right? But the Pats aren't as potent from an offensive perspective like what we'll see and what we've seen from the Seahawks this year. And then defensively, I mean, look, the Pats are really good defensively. I mean, you can't take anything away from them there. But what I think is the difference maker for the Patriots is Mike Vrabel. Now, he's not playing. Like, he had his time as a player with the Seahawks. With the Patriots. He won Super Bowls with the Patriots, right? But I think, and probably rightfully so. He was able to get it done. I mean, we can argue who could have been the coach of the year. He was elected coach of the year, and it probably was the right move, because think about it, the Patriots only won 4 football games. Count them, 4 football games last year. Now you're talking about the Patriots being with, I don't want to say the same teams, not any necessarily like great moves other than Stephon Diggs, right? That was like a big-time move. But now you're seeing the Pats in the Super Bowl. So I think Mike Vrabel and certainly his coaching is definitely going to be a key when you're looking at this Patriots team. So we're going to do this. We're going to step aside and take a break. And by the way, you've got it locked to BoxToRow. We're live from Radio Row. I'm your host, Donal Ware. We're going to step aside. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. So let me set this next interview up for you. You talk about a guy. You want to talk about the debate stage. Nobody can probably out-debate him. He's an HBCU graduate. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, sports TV personality in the world, right? And he's going to join, well, he's not going to join us next. We had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. So you're going to see that conversation with this person. Keep it locked. That's up next. BoxToRow live from the Moscone Center here, Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco.
I'm Sam Farber, radio play-by-play broadcaster for the Charlotte Hornets, and you're listening to Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Charlotte Hornets basketball in the Triad.
Blue Naples Pizzeria in Kernersville is now hiring. Come work for one of the best Italian restaurants in the Triad. Currently hiring dishwashers, cooks, front cashiers, and more. Great hours, great pay. Give them a call at 336-993-7707 or stop by and inquire at 1519 Union Cross Road in Kernersville. Start working this week. Blue Naples Pizza.
Looking for your real estate expert in Kernersville? Meet Nikki Rottweiler, your go-to expert with the unrivaled knowledge of the market. From hidden gems to prime profiles, she's got the inside scoop. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Contact Nikki Rottweiler today and experience the difference firsthand. Call Nikki at 336-448-9309 to get started. Head Realty Group, opening dreams one door at a time.
So where exactly can you hear Tobacco Road Sports Radio?
Oh, North Carolina, Kernersville, Salisbury, you know what I'm saying? Burlington. I didn't bring you Raleigh, Greensboro, Charlotte.
For the best in live sports debate, live sporting events, and more, tune in to Tobacco Road Sports Radio. TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
It's the North Gate, baby. Archdale.
Kickoff's coming up for the biggest game of the year. And you are there as From the Press Box to Press Row continues live.
We're back here at the Moscone Center here in San Francisco, Super Bowl 60. And thank you for making BoxToRow a part of your day as we bring you this special broadcast live from what's left, really, of Radio Row here at the Moscone Center. So, again, as I mentioned, it's just crazy. You know, we've been doing this for over 20 years. BoxToRow celebrating 20 years on the air. We've been doing this for a very long time. So when you've been doing something for a long time, you tend to build relationships over a sustained amount of time. So I mentioned to you all that earlier we were trying to set up possible interviews during the course of the week. Didn't have a lot of luck. As a matter of fact, the one interview that we had scheduled, that interview got canceled for unfortunate reasons, right? So I'm here, and I'm like, okay, I need to call the assistant of who you'll see will be our next guest. And I called that person, and that person did answer the phone and said, hey, we're here. Yeah, we're here. Don't know, but let's meet. So we met, and I've known this person now for 19 years because this gentleman came on our 100th show back in 2007, right? So it was so crazy because this person is the assistant of Stephen A. Smith. She set up the interview. We had a chance to catch up with Stephen A. on yesterday. As a matter of fact, he came on our show back in 2007, our 100th show. He came on our 10th year anniversary show in 2015. Had a chance to talk with him at the beginning of 2023 when his book came out. And now, had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. As a matter of fact, you can't see it, but over where the Sirius XM booth was set up, we had a chance to catch up with the one and only Stephen A. Smith on yesterday, right here on Radio
on Radio Row, Super Bowl 60 at the Moscone Center. And we've got the special guest right here, Stephen A. Smith, joining us right here on the program. Now, my understanding is you like doing Radio Row. I mean, what do you like most about it?
No, for me personally, it's just seeing my colleagues and contemporaries, a lot of people that I grew up in the business with, that I worked alongside and what have you over the years, man, about 30 years, to see a lot of these times lot of times to see these people at Radio Row is the only time during the year that I see them. And so I just like doing a lot. I've been blessed and fortunate to have a lot of success. And it keeps me in studio or it puts me on the road a lot of times, and I don't run across these folks nearly as much as I do. So when I see them, it just it makes me feel real good to run into them and say hello and all of that stuff.
Very good. What do you remember most about your days at Winston-Salem State University? Now, you know I'm a Morgan State grad. You understand what I'm saying? But what do you remember most about your days at Winston-Salem?
Same thing you do, my boys. Okay. My boys that I'm still friends with to this very day. A lot of people know my professors and all of that stuff, the whole college experience, playing for big house games, all of that stuff, obviously so. But for me personally, it's the friendships that last a lifetime. You know, I can give you my boys Mark Turner, Boris Battle, you know, Kevin Edwards, Ski, Spank, my man Gary Stevens, and, you know, the list just goes on and on. You know, Monte Ross, who's the coach, head basketball coach at A&T. Yeah, he's one of our best friends as well. You know, so it's a lot of people like that. We all went to school together. We were all teammates, and we still keep in touch to this very day.
Yeah, I know Monte well. I'm the play-by-play voice for A&T football, as a matter of fact. For you, so the importance, can you first take the importance of going to these HBCUs and doing your show First Take on site?
Well, it resonates with me personally because to me it fulfills a promise that I made to Coach Gaines. And he just said that, you know, he never asked me for anything other than to not forget HBCUs. He didn't just say Winston-Salem State. He said HBCUs. He says you're going to be an important voice. You're going to be able to resonate. You're going to have an impact. Make sure it's for the right reasons and to make sure you give back. That's what he asked me to do. Bring attention to it, notoriety to it. Let everybody know that HBCUs bring something to the table and it's got a lot to offer for a lot of people in our community. Do that. That's all I asked. That's all he ever said to me. It's all he ever asked of me. And so anytime I do something like that, where I get Disney and ESPN in particular to make that kind of commitment and that kind of investment, which they've never hesitated to do, and I'm very grateful for, you know, obviously a lot of it has to do with the request that came from him.
Can you speak to maybe any political ambitions you may have? I know lately you've been going on a lot of the talk show, Fox News and all that kind of stuff, but any of the political ambitions you may have?
Well, listen, I mean, I was asked by an abundance of people, including my pastor, along with elected officials, to keep the door open for me running for the presidency. And I have no desire to be a politician. I like my money. I'm not trying to give it up.
Right.
I'm not apologizing for it to anybody. But asking me to keep my options open is something that I promised I would do until 2027. And then not only that, I will confess to this. I may not have any desire to be in the White House making those kind of life-altering decisions that affects tens of millions of people, if not hundreds of millions of people, not just in America, the world over, because you're the leader of the free world. That's how it would be. But the other thing that really resonates with me is I really, really would love to be on the debate stage against some of these politicians. I believe that they're largely responsible for dividing America to the degree that it has. They haven't been called on the carpet for it nearly to the degree that I would do it. And the opportunity to be on the debate stage with them, I'm telling you right now, to me, that's the presidency right there. Have that debate, call them out, and then walk off. Keep my money, my job, my lifestyle, my career, what I thoroughly enjoy doing, and call it a day. In my perfect world, that would be it. But in all likelihood, you don't get to do that without taking it very, very seriously. And I'm certainly not going to be a child in the room. I'm going to be an adult in the room, and I'm going to treat it with the seriousness that it deserves, which means that if I'm not ultra serious about it and ultra prepared to do it, I won't do it. But it is an aspiration for me to be on the debate stage, more so than it is for me to actually be in elected office.
Two last thoughts, because I know you got to run. Especially in our community, it seems like people just want you to stay in your lane, so to speak, particularly in our community. When I look at some of this stuff, the vitriol that some of these people speak about is very bad. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, they're giving the impression that they're the many when they're the few. Because there's a lot. I've received, for the most part, love from my community my entire career. I wouldn't be where I am today if black people didn't support me. So I don't really worry about that. You're always going to have haters. You're going to have people that come at you spewing their nonsense because they want to monopolize what they're doing, and they don't want anybody else to come in. Remember, I'm in the world of sports, so all of a sudden I'm making noise in the political stratosphere, and you might have Democrats that want me silenced. You might have pundits who have been talking politics all the time. They want me silenced. Always remember, there's three things that happen when you're making noise. People want to ally you, they want to neutralize you, or they want to destroy you. It's one of the three. What they're not accustomed to is somebody who's very experienced at it, because I've been in this business for 30 years. It doesn't matter that I wasn't doing politics. I've been in journalism. So being attacked, people excoriating you, misrepresenting what you're saying, flat out lying about what you're saying some of the times, doing what they can to create clickbait with hate bait and all of this other stuff. Yeah, that's what they got to do because they're not sitting where I'm sitting. So go ahead, knock yourself out, have a good time. They'll fall too.
Right.
Just like everybody else that was a naysayer or that doubted me fell in the past. They where they are, I'm where I'm at.
And when you mentioned the politicians, the debate, ain't nobody going to out-debate you.
I don't think so.
Right. Last thought. Where are you? I was surprised. We're going back a couple of years ago, I think, with the LeBron James situation. I was surprised to see that he approached you in the manner in which it happened at the game. What is you all's relationship now?
We don't have one. Okay. We don't have one. We probably never will, and I don't care. And I don't care for two reasons. Number one, on a personal level, I know the things that he's tried to do to hurt me. Okay. But on a professional level, none of that matters. He's still one of the greatest players to have ever lived. He's a pillar in the community. He's an incredible role model who's done an awful lot for an awful lot of people. He's a great ambassador for the sport of basketball. I've benefited from his greatness along the way. And I want everybody to know, regardless of what personal animosity we may have with one another, I don't want anybody else to feel that way. That's personal between he and I, and it is what it is. But that does not mean that the millions upon millions of people out there who have loved and have adored and have revered him throughout the years should do otherwise. He is worthy of it. He deserves it. And I wish him nothing but the best. I just don't like the relationship he and I have together, but we're both grown-ups, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Root for that man, love that man. He deserves it. He's earned it. And we all should revere what he has meant to our community, to America, to the world of sports overall, and especially the basketball specifically. He's a great, great individual. Nothing but the best of him. I don't have to like him, though. And he doesn't have to like me. He does his thing. I do mine. But always, always respect him.
Absolutely. Stephen A., appreciate the time.
Take care.
All right. You too. Appreciate you. Yes.
All right. That was the one and only Stephen A. We talked about a myriad of topics. LeBron James, of course, his political ambitions, his time at Winston-Salem State. It was just a fantastic conversation, and he's as candid as you see him on First Take. And again, I mean, look, he had a show that he had to do, right? Like his Sirius XM show. Like he had a show he had to do, gave us the time, right? Like I think he was kind of like, come on, man, let's do it before we started. Then we got going, and then, once he gets going, I mean, he's into his thing, and he's going to answer your questions, man. Got a lot of respect. There's a lot of people that hate on Stephen A. Smith. They got a lot of respect for Stephen A. Smith. Again, we're live from the Moscone Center here, Super Bowl 60. BoxToRow is live. Coming up next, I mentioned people walking around, right? Up next, we're going to be joined by an actor. You're going to know him, much related to one of 50 Cent's shows that he has on Stars, and you're going to hear from him next. We're live from the Moscone Center here in San Francisco. Super Bowl 60. BoxToRow on radio.
On last week's From the Press Box to Press Row with Donal Ware.
Bill Belichick not only should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, some will point to Spygate. Who cares? In Deflategate. Fine, I got you. There shouldn't be any cheating in that regard. But no way in the world. We can argue that. That's not what I'm here to argue. The merits as to why Bill Belichick should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We already know all of the merits. What I think we really need to take a look at is the process by which players are voted upon.
From the Press Box to Press Row is one of the hottest sports talk shows in the country. Join Donal each week as he takes you on a journey through the world of HBCU sports and pro sports and interviews with top sports and entertainment figures. That's From the Press Box to Press Row each week on your favorite station.
Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad Sports.
Whether down and look at it because it's the best going today. Woo!
TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Mo stars, mo names in the news, just Mo Spots with Donal Ware. From the press box to press row.
We're at the Moscone Center. I got to tell you, it is cold in here. What's left of Radio Row. Super Bowl 60 here in San Francisco. Thank you for making BoxToRow live from the Super Bowl a part of your day. Well, as mentioned, again, so just kind of walking around and happened to run into Isaac Keys. Now, of course, Isaac Keys plays in Power Book. I think it's Power Book 4, Force, the one with Tommy. And he had come on the show maybe back in 2023, was just kind of, he remembered, just was kind of talking to him, wanted to see if he could come by our booth. He would have loved to have come by our booth, but he had an interview that he had to do, and then he had somewhere that he had to be. But he said, if I get out of this interview, then I'll come by and see you. He wasn't able to, but he was represented by the same person. So next thing I know, coming by our booth, not to sit down, but was this person who just kind of walked by and actually just kind of stood there, was talking with some other people. So we went up to the publicist and said, hey, would love to have this person come by, sit down and talk with us. Oh, by the way, we talked with this person, came on our show, came on BoxToRow back in June. That person is actor Da Vinci. You're going to know, I mean, he's been in a number of different things, but you're going to know him more recently. He played the role of Terry Flannery in 50 Cent's BMF. Had a chance to catch up with him right here on Radio Row on Thursday. Again, actor Da Vinci joined us right here live, well, at that time from the Super Bowl right here on Radio.
Excellent, but I would also say, because we use the word black excellence, so black excellence is walking around the Moscone Center. You understand? So, I mean, what are you going to the game? Are what do you got going on here at the Moscone Center?
Nah, honestly, I was doing some training for this project that I got in Sacramento. Okay, so I was doing some training for this new project that I'm working on. It's a Netflix project. And then Julie from my team, she was just like, hey, like, you're right down the street, because I was in Sacramento. And she was like, come, like, check the Super Bowl out and stuff like that. And I was like, I've never been in the atmosphere. So I was like, I bet I'm going to do it. So I'm literally here. She was like, let's go here and let's just walk around and da-da-da-da. So that's literally what I'm doing. I wasn't even supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? But it's great to be here and be with people that showed me love and support me, you know what I'm saying, and have these conversations. So I'm just enjoying the experience.
Absolutely. The one and only Da Vinci joining us right here, Radio Row at the Super Bowl. So who you got, man? I know last time we talked, your buddy, Anthony Edwards, we were talking about, and I said KD, it would have been a good move. KD's doing his thing in Houston. You know what I mean? Minnesota is one of those teams that's going to kind of be mediocre throughout, or middle of the road, like 6. And all of a sudden, they're going to be in the Western Conference Finals. That's happened in the last couple of years.
Right.
What are your thoughts on where Minnesota is right now?
I think Minnesota is going to be a powerhouse. I think Anthony Edwards, I'm looking at him as like our generation's Jordan. You know, I feel like he got what it takes to get back to backs. And I'm here for it. I'm rocking with him. I don't see any other team that have that factor to them.
But you know what, though, Da Vinci, I think they need. No, that's not true, because I can sit back and say they need some more help, but not really. They always make it to the Western Conference Finals.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. They always gonna make it. And really, it's like, I don't think they need more help as bodies. It's just that their spirit got to be in the right place. Because every team is really impressive when you think about it. Every team, those are exceptional players. So if they have the right spirit behind them, the right energy, I think the Charlotte Hornets could take. You know what I'm saying? I think any team has the ability. So it's not necessarily the player that they need. I think it's their spirit, and I think Anthony Edwards got that.
I agree with you. I'm in Raleigh. So, matter of fact, I took my lovely wife who's filming us, right? Took her for her Christmas. We went to the Hornets and Warriors game. She's a big Warriors fan. And I'm watching, even though the Warriors won this game, I'm watching Charlotte. I'm like, what's the problem? Like, y'all are very talented, Where are we? And now all of a sudden, the Hornets have won 7 straight bowl games. They're playing well.
Wow.
Yeah, relatively well. So to your point, it just takes a little something every now and again, even if you don't have spirit, as you mentioned.
Exactly. That's what it is. It all comes down to spirit.
Yeah. So BMF, man, it was great. While it lasted, I guess.
Yeah.
And kind of, I mean, your thoughts, man, and just the whole BMF project. It was great.
It was a great opportunity, man. I'm forever grateful for 50. I'm forever grateful for what 50 did. It was a huge opportunity. It was a great opportunity. There were some unforeseen circumstances with my co-star, and it is what it is. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. I've learned so much, made so many powerful connections and great relationships, and so much happened outside of that show. So I'm just forever grateful.
Yeah. What's next for you?
I can't really talk about it, but I got 2 Netflix things, a movie, a show. I got some other projects that I'm working on. Like it's tough.
Did you say with 50?
With a human being.
Okay, no problem. I thought, okay, anyway, no problem. And then lastly, who you got in the Super Bowl, man? Are you going to the game?
I'm not going to the game. I'm not going to the game, but for some reason, I feel like I want the Seahawks to win, but I think the Patriots are going to take it home.
Okay.
I think Drake got in.
All right. The one and only Da Vinci joining us right here live from Radio Row at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. Part of Super Bowl 60. He was in San Francisco, in Sacramento. His agent, his publicist, Julie, said, come on down. So he did, and we're glad he did. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
I mean, and again, that's just part of it. Like, those are the kinds of people that are just kind of walking around from time to time. Now, I mean, I got to tell you, generally speaking, a lot of them are going to have specific places that they're going to go that they already have prearranged conversations with, and so that's generally how it works. If you're lucky, and again, we happen to have, we didn't know the publicist that he was working with at that time. We don't know her, but we know the publicist he generally works with. And again, just having said, okay, he came on our show back in June, and he remembered that, like you said, hey, I'm going to talk to people who show me love. It's not always like that, because you got a lot of people that walk around and they, whatever, in the PR people, as I like to call them, gatekeepers. A lot of times, they'll be kind of snooty or whatever, and it's fine. I mean, we had a great week, so we don't really worry about that. But it's those that are real. You know what I mean? That understand what it is that you're doing, and the audiences that you're talking to, and the communities that you're speaking with, that will come up and really talk with you and have the right representatives to understand that. That's sort of the key there. So, again, we've had an absolutely tremendous week here at BoxToRow. We've had I think a tremendous 20 years with BoxToRow, and those may not be familiar with the program. This is our 5th time being at the Super Bowl. We've had, I know a lot of people know us from talking a lot about HBCU sports, which is great, but I mean, we've talked everything. I mean, from boxing to soccer to whatever, UFC. I mean, I remember when Cormier, his last bout, came on the program, and we were able to talk with him. So, we've done quite a bit here at BoxToRow over the 20 years, and so, feel like we've earned our stripes here on Radio Row, and want to really continue to bring you the content. Those that listen to us, that support us each and every week, we look to bring you this content from a place like Radio Row at the Super Bowl each and every week. So who you got? Who do you have in the Super Bowl? I mean, I've broken it down in terms of why I like the Seahawks in this game. Again, I like the fact that the Seahawks are just deeper, right? But what I don't sleep on, like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a slam dunk. Anything can happen in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm just trying to think if I can think of any upsets more recently, right? Like the major upset in the Super Bowl that comes to mind, which actually helped to merge the National Football League, the NFL, and the AFL, was the I forget, was it the 68, whatever Super Bowl that the Jets won, the only Super Bowl that the Jets won. It was before, it was like the 68 or 60, may have been the 68 Super Bowl, because the NFL merger took place between the NFL and the AFL in 1970. And then, of course, you had the conferences that were aligned, NFC, AFC. But it all came under the auspices of the NFL. So the NFL, AFL merged under the auspices of the NFL with the conference NFC and AFC. But that may have been the most well-known upset. I'm just trying to think back. If I can think back to like some upsets in the Super Bowls. When you think about, like, let's think about the NBA Finals last year, right? And if it would have been an upset, if Indiana would have beaten OKC, like that would have been an upset. Sometimes you'll see, sort of underdogs that I can't. I mean, I'm trying to think back to Super Bowls. If I can say that this particular Super Bowl, it would be an upset. It wouldn't be. I mean, even though I think most people think that the Seahawks are going to win for all of the reasons that I laid out, phenomenal defense, elite defense, quarterback that's playing or is played as well as any quarterback throughout the course of the season and in the playoffs. Weapons all over the place. A running game that's really good. Again, the Patriots don't have the same kind of offense, but their defense is really, really good. And then, as I mentioned, Mike Vrabel, I think, is sort of a key in this game because he's been here from, and again, it is his first time coaching. Just because you've been here before as a player doesn't mean you can do it as a coach. But I think because he was under Bill Belichick, he's got an excellent coaching staff. I think that's going to play in favor of the Patriots. But again, wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots won. To me, wouldn't be an upset at all. I just think that the Seahawks are the more talented team, but wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots won this game at all. So I've got the Seahawks winning Super Bowl 60 right here in San Francisco. I want to know who you got. Hit us up while with the little bit of time that we have remaining. You can hit us up at BoxToRow on Twitter, at BoxToRow, BoxToRow. Also on Facebook, BOX2ROW, or on my personal X account at DWare1, Look, a lot of people to thank before we get out of here. I want to thank all of our affiliates around the country and really around the world that are carrying this program. I got to give a special shout out to my wife, Kim, for all of her great work this week. I mean, it's a lot, doing this is a lot of work, trying to run down these people, trying to explain to them why they should come on your program and all of those different kinds of things. I mean, it's a lot, setting up, I mean, we had a big setup here. I mean, it's a lot of work. So I want to thank her. Want to, of course, thank Tobacco Road Sports Radio and Desmond for all of his great work. This is the second year that we've partnered to bring you this particular broadcast. And I mean, I think what Desmond is doing with Tobacco Road Sports Radio and TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com is absolutely tremendous there in the Triad area of North Carolina. So I want to thank him. We want to thank all of the publicists that have given us the time with their respective clients this week. Again, Stephen A. Smith's assistant, been talking to her since 2007 when he first came on our show. Didn't meet her until the first time we actually met in person was a couple of days ago, right? Another publicist that I'd been, interacting with for, I don't know, like 15 years, met for the first time today, or not today, but that was yesterday, right here at the Super Bowl in San Francisco. So when you come here, it's about also relationships and then establishing new relationships as well. So I want to thank those publicists. I want to thank all of the guests, Stephen A. Smith, Da Vinci, Bill Romanowski came on the program, Malcolm Butler, who came on, Coach Kerr, Quinshawn Odom, who gave us some time, all of those who gave us some time this week to make this broadcast absolutely possible. For more information on BoxToRow, visit us on our website, BoxToRow.com. Don't forget, for great content, check us out on the BoxToRow YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media as well. And always remember to support those that support you. BoxToRow, live from the Moscone Center here in San Francisco at Super Bowl 60, is produced by DW Communications.
Time for this show to drop the lid. That'll do it for this week's From the Press Box to Press Row with Donal Ware. Join us again next week for an in-depth look at historically black college athletics and the biggest news stories of the day.
BoxToRow.com is the website for all of your HBCU sports needs. From the Game of the Week feature to interviews to the latest news in the world of HBCU sports, BoxToRow.com has you covered. Missed a week of From the Press Box to Press Row? BoxToRow.com has all the archive shows. Don't forget to check out the All-American teams and weekly media coaches polls. From the Press Box to Press Row and BoxToRow.com, your HBCU sports leader.